Positions. Jab punch. No, wait till I say go. Yeah. Yeah.
We wanted to do a show that explores the difference between the two generations, an old school way of thinking and a new way of thinking. It allows for us to explore all of the characters. You get to explore the two rivals from the original film.
Congratulations, Johnny.
But now we have their families, the people that they work with, and a whole new generation of Karate Kids that we get to dig in deep with.
Johnny is an archetype that we can all relate to. He is the guy from your high school who peaked, and he's kind of lost present day.
He still has all the programming that was programmed into him as a younger man, but he's trying to undo those and work them out.
Cobra Kai's back, baby!
It's fun to play. It's also painful to play, too.
Billy is a massively talented actor, and the world finally gets to see all the different layers that he has, and he puts his heart and soul into everything he does.
This is a guy whose ass you kicked. Listen, it was a really close match, but I kicked his face. I'm just busting your chops.
It was an illegal kick.
What's interesting and I find so ironic is Johnny Lawrence coming back into LaRusso's life, which is kind of his worst nightmare at the time. You know, this is ridiculous. You want to go now? Come on, Johnny. Actually becomes something that helps him find his own balance as an adult in his midlife days.
Daniel's story kind of ended with a happily ever after in the movies. So we wanted to honor that. So when we meet with Daniel present day, his life is good. He has a beautiful wife, beautiful kids, he's got a great business.
As martial arts has come back into his life, it's drawn some of his attention away from his family and maybe away from his business. I'm enjoying playing all those levels. Okay, how do I balance all of this? And it's a lot of fun.
Welcome to Cobra Kai.
Some things never change. This is where I shot my first scene on the Cobra Kai series, and it was the end of episode 2 when I come in and confront Johnny Lawrence and hear that he's opening up this Cobra Kai.
Get your house in order, LaRusso.
Who the hell you think you're talking to? It was an amazing day.
The Daniel LaRusso that lives in him and the Johnny Lawrence that lives in me, he came alive, and there's this kind of electricity between us, pushing each other away.
It was a big scene. It was the first scene together. You know, a little more wrinkles around both of our eyes, but as soon as we locked in, it was beyond my expectations of how well it came together. You and I, we aren't done.
It was great. We got off the set that day. We're like, hey, man, it's on, you know.
Cobra Kai isn't just about karate. It's about a way of life. Take that first lesson.
What I really enjoy about the show is that there's a lot of gray areas, and it's not really like a good guy and a bad guy, where at the end of the season, at the end of the first season, you really root for both Robbie and Miguel, Johnny and Daniel.
You don't have to fight dirty.
Dirty? There's nothing dirty about winning, Sensei. You taught me that. Season 2, he learns over the course of the season to become more vulnerable, I feel like, and really separate himself and learn that this is something that you use in your life, but also it can make you a jerk. So sometimes there is mercy that needs to be shown.
Wait!
There's no honor in being merciless.
The moment we saw Sholo's audition, we knew he was Miguel. Working with him every day is a pleasure.
Hey.
Who's this guy?
This is Robbie. He works with my dad.
Robbie Keane is a troubled kid who has had a rough life because his father was never there for him, and his mother has all sorts of trouble in her own life. And through his interactions with Daniel LaRusso, is trying to come out better on the other side.
I think starting at season 2, you know, he's still that good kid, but as the season goes on, you realize that he still has that fire inside of him because his dad's still not there.
Hey, you don't know Mr. LaRusso. He is a better man than you will ever be.
But I think ultimately he knows what's the right thing to do in his heart and his mind. And that's kind of explained when he talks to his dad in the car.
All I'm saying is maybe you guys can learn a thing or two from each other.
Tanner is great. He's on set, he's behind the camera, he's asking questions. He just wants to learn so much, and we think he's done a fantastic job on the show, playing both sort of that renegade kid to a kid who's able to turn over a new leaf.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
You know, I mean, you gotta understand, I've been in a bad situation for a long time, and
Samantha LaRusso is a daddy's girl. She and Daniel have an amazing relationship. She learned karate at a young age and has recently taken it back up.
She kind of morphed over the last 2 seasons. She started in season 1 as a girl who was kind of trying to find her place and where she fit in high school. And then kind of over the last season and then over season 2, she started to kind of find herself through karate. So now she's I like to consider her the karate princess.
Gotta check your ID first.
Do you really think I'm underage? It's my freaking kid right there.
Hawk is one of my favorite characters in the whole show just because he goes through this 180 arc.
Lip, look, even Lip's tougher than those guys. He's no quitter.
Could you please not call me that? That's sort of where it starts. He gets that influence from Johnny and, you know, the way of the fist, for better or for worse. Hawk gets bred out of that ideology. I'm flipping the script.
The moment he put on that mohawk, he unleashed a beast that we're hoping will one day be able to be contained.
I did a little bit of karate growing up in a strip mall next to a grocery store, so it was pretty legit. This is definitely one of the most fun roles I've had just because of how physically demanding it is.
No hard feelings.
No mercy.
When we meet Tori, it's a room full of guys, and Johnny asks the entire dojo, and he goes, who has the balls to take on the champ? I'll take him on. And that's how you meet my character. So I say that you do see the softer side, and you see the connection that she makes with Miguel, and she starts to have a crush on him, and you start to see this more vulnerable side, and she opens up, and I don't think she does that with a lot of people at all.
Samantha LaRusso, you know what you did, and now you're gonna pay for it.
When I think about her performance, I really think about the finale of season 2. The moment she grabs that microphone, how scary she is in threatening Samantha, and that fight, you would not have guessed that, you know, a month and a half earlier, she didn't know any karate.
I did not have any martial arts training before, so I really had to learn so much coming into the show.
Point! Hit him again.
We knew that there's no way to do a show called Cobra Kai without Kreese.
Do you have a problem with that?
With season 2, we have the challenge of how do you take this black as night Darth Vader and make him this 3-dimensional character like all the other characters on our show.
I realized that I was too hard on you. You were young, and I went overboard. 30 years later, he realizes his mistakes. He loves Johnny Lawrence, and Johnny Lawrence is a product of what John Kreese was. There's no question about it. I was his father image, and I destroyed that after he lost in Karate Kid 1. Now who's a loser?
You know, you're really sick, man.
And the fact that Johnny opened Cobra Kai, for him, was an opening. And you see that in the first episode. So right off the bat, you're saying, okay, this guy has some heart.
It may say second place, but in my opinion, you were always the better fighter.
And as the show goes on, you'll see more and more of that.
This isn't a tournament. There are no rules.
We ended season 2. We basically blew up our own show, and we're starting anew, and our characters have to figure out, how do you respond when you've been trying to do the right thing and the results are horrible? How do you respond to that? And we'll get to see that in season 3.
Cobra Kai is not a hobby.
All the themes of mentorship and bullying and growing up, all those themes from the Karate Kid are just as alive now as they were then.
In Cobra Kai, we try to show you that everyone is the hero of their own story.
Cobra Kai is making a difference in these kids' lives. And honestly, they're making a difference in mine as well.